Hey, what's up YouTube? In this video, I'll be showing you how to make this simple, great looking, modern house. If you enjoy the design and if you do make it, please do remember to hit that like button. I'd really appreciate that. Subscribe for more and please do let me know what you would like to see in the future on the channel. But without any further ado, why don't I actually show you how to make this thing? So if you want to make it, here's what you'll need. Grab yourself some oak planks, some block of quartz, some quartz slab, some grey concrete, some light grey concrete, and some white stained glass pane. And that's everything that you'll need. Well, once you have all of that stuff, and once you've figured out where you want to make it, you're going to want to begin the build with a row of 7 grey concrete coming up from the ground. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And you want to place 2 more rows of grey concrete to the right of this. So up to down, just place 2 more rows like this. You then want to take the top row of grey concrete on the right, and you want to extend it to the right by 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then extend that 4th block backwards by 2. 1, 2. Place a row of grey concrete underneath everything that you've just made. So just place a row of grey concrete underneath all of that. We then want to take these 3 blocks right here. I can't really show you any better, but these 3 blocks right here, we want to place oak wood planks in front of those. Right there. And we want to place a row of quartz slab going around the oak wood planks in this sort of position. We then want to continue making our house by placing a block of quartz behind these 2 grey concrete that we extended backwards. We want to place a block of quartz behind that. We want to take the top block of quartz, we want to extend it upwards by 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. We want to go right by 2. 1, 2. And then we want to connect all the way down to the ground, like this. Take the block that hits the ground, go left by 2. 1, 2, and then extend upwards until you connect back. We then want to, starting from the bottom of this shape that we've made, we want to fill it in a bit. So we actually want to do this. We want to place 2 block of quartz coming up, so that's going to be 1 and 2. We then want to place 2 glass, 1, 2, then 2 quartz, 1, 2, 2 glass, 1 quartz. So the shape that we're looking for should look very, very similar to this one. Now, once you've got that sorted out, we now want to place a row of grey concrete directly to the right of the white shape that we've made. So top to bottom, once again, a row of grey concrete. And we want to take the bottom of the grey concrete and we want to extend it towards us by 2. 1, 2. And then right by 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We then want to extend it up as high as the row of grey concrete that we have on the left, and we want to connect it together. The way that we can do this is we can go back on ourselves by 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then connect it such as that. What we can then do is this. So we want to take the bottom of this, and we want to add 2 rows of grey concrete on top of the bottom of this. So just add 2 rows of grey concrete on top, that's 1 and 2. And then 2 rows of glass. This will be 1 row of glass, and then this will be 2 rows of glass. Then do 2 more rows of grey concrete. That's going to be 1. And then this will be 2. Then 2 additional rows. 1. And then that will be 2. And then fill in the last row using grey concrete. So what we're looking for should look very much like that. You can see that we're cracking on with this build nicely. Now, we want to take out our oak wood planks, and we want to take this right-hand row of grey concrete, and we want to place a row of oak wood planks, 1 row behind and to the right of that row of grey concrete. We then, similarly, we want to place a row of block of quartz to the right of that row of oak wood planks, but we then want to extend the block of quartz 1 row forwards, making it equal in line with the grey concrete. Take the bottom of the row of block of quartz and extend it to the right by 2, 1, 2, extend it all the way up and connect it at the top, and fill the centre of it in using white stained glass pane, like this. We're then going to place a row of block of quartz directly behind that row, And then we'll place a row of oak wood planks to the right of that row of block of quartz. Like this. Perfect. Now, once you've got that sorted out, we're actually going to flip back on ourselves a little bit, and we're going to start from the beginning again. So, what I mean by that is we want to come all the way to where we have the original row of grey concrete. We want to take this row, and we literally want to take the entire row, and we want to go backwards by 18 blocks using the grey concrete. So that's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. And we want to take every single one of those blocks, and there's quite a few of them. We want to take them all back, and we want to extend them backwards. And like I said, this will take a little while, so, well then again, I bet that we're well over halfway. And once we've done this, we'll actually be pretty much mirroring the front of the build, because I figured that that'd be the best way to do it, to keep it nice and even. So once you've extended all of those blocks backwards, what we now want to do is we actually want to extend them coming across the build. And we want to do it by 5 rows. So take this row, extend it across the back of the build by 5 rows. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And we want to take every single grey concrete block, and we want to extend them all coming across the block, all coming across the back by 5 rows. We then want to extend those 2 rows inwards by, well, that row inwards by 2 rows. So that's going to be 1 row and then 2 rows. Well, once you've extended that backwards 2 rows, you want to take the last row of grey concrete and you want to place a row of quartz blocks on the inside of it. And you want to take the top of the row of quartz, which is equal in height to the grey concrete, and you want to extend it upwards by 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Extend that top block to the left by 2. 1, 2, and then connect down like this. So just connect down like that, and connect it at the bottom. Place on top of the block in the bottom, you want to place 2 block of quartz coming up. That's 1, 2. Then 2 white stained glass pane, 1, 2. 2 block of quartz, 1, 2. 2 pane, 1, 2. Finish it off with a single block of quartz at the top. We also want to be able to connect the front and the back together. So we actually want to take the top 2 inside block of quartz blocks. We want to place block of quartz coming backwards from the 2 inside blocks. So that's at the front. And we actually want the same thing, well, that's at the back, and we want the same thing at the front as well. So we want to move them inwards by 1 row. And then we want to extend them towards the side of the build by 3 rows. So that's 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, and the front also, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, and then connect them together. Connect them front to back like this. So this will become very, very relevant later. But for now, we're just going to leave that at that. So continuing to build across the back of the house, we want to take the row of block of quartz that we have here on the left, and we want to place a row of grey concrete to the left of it. And we want to extend the bottom of that row of grey concrete towards us out the back of the build by 2. 1, 2. We then want to go left by 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We then want to extend all the way up until this row of grey concrete is equal in height to the original row. Extend it across to the right and connect it inwards as you did at the start of the video. We want to build upon this kind of like an L-shaped row of grey concrete, and we want to add 2 rows of grey on top. That's going to be 1 row and then 2 rows. Then add 2 rows of glass. 1. And then that is going to be 2. Then 2 rows of grey, 1. And then this will be 2. And then 2 rows of glass, that's going to be 1. And then this will be 2, like this. Come on, there we go. And then fill in the rest of the area using grey concrete. Perfect. Okay, so we now want to take the row of grey concrete that we have here, and we want to place a row of oak wood planks coming inwards diagonally in relation to the grey, once again as high as the row of grey concrete. We then want to place a row of block of quartz next to the oak wood planks, and we want to extend that row of block of quartz in front of the build by 1 row. Take either the top or the bottom, extend it to the left by 2, 1, 2, and then extend that all the way down, like this, and connect it at either the top or the bottom. Fill the center of that in using white stained glass pane, and then what you want to do is you just want to add an additional row of block of quartz behind that row of block of quartz like this, and then you want to place yourself some oak wood planks to the left of that. So like we did on the front, and if you have a look at it from the sky, it looks very, very similar. Then all we have to do is we have to connect the front row of oak wood planks to the back row of oak wood planks. So literally, same sort of thing that we did on the opposite side with all of the grey. We now just want to do rows and rows of oak wood planks. If you want to add additional detail to the build, this is a good side to do it on, because there isn't detail already built in. So if you wanted to add some more windows, or perhaps a garden, or perhaps a balcony, or maybe even a swimming pool, then this would be a good place to do it. Personally, I think that this house has plenty of windows, so I didn't really feel the need to add any more. Sometimes it's nice just to have a space that you don't have to worry about fitting in too many windows, but that's just me. So what we want to have should look like this. So what are we going to be doing next, you might be wondering to yourselves. So we want to now take, can you remember how we connected the front of the house to the back of the house with these rows of block of quartz? Well, what we now want to do is we want to place 3 rows of glass underneath this. So we want to take this odd shape of block of quartz and we want to place 3 rows of glass underneath this. So this applies to just these outer parts of block of quartz. We want to place glass underneath, and underneath the 3rd row is where the floor is going to be. So once you manage to fill in all of the glass, and I do realize that I've just missed a pane on the corner there, which is a pane. Ha, ha, ha. Yeah, I know. So once we've actually managed to place this, oh, it's so hard. There we go. And then on the corner as well, there we are. What we can then do is we can then just add a flooring material. So I kind of like the idea of using some dark grey out here underneath the glass. I like the idea of using a little bit of dark grey like this, connected there. And I like to also make sure that glass pane has something to grip onto, and you might as well. So make sure to add any blocks onto the outer parts of the glass pane to make sure that they do grip onto something. And you might also feel inclined to kind of fill in the balcony, because this is a balcony area. You might want to fill in this area with grey concrete or quartz or whatever, just to kind of have like a nice solid space like this. So what are we going to be doing next? This house does have a couple more things to offer us. So first of all, we're going to build a little bit of a wall. So this wall is built on the front of the house, and it starts from the very bottom center row of this block of quartz. It's near the entrance. So here we want to take this bottom block and we want to place a row of block of quartz coming out from the house. It can be as long as you want, but make sure it's not too short. A row of 9 or so, or maybe even 8 will do just fine. And the wall wants to be 2 rows high, like this. What we then want to do is we want to connect our grey concrete to the right to the wall using oak wood planks, and we want to add a few rows of oak wood planks behind this until we've placed oak wood planks as far back as this row of quartz block here. And we're going to extend the oak wood planks outwards by an additional row out of the front, and we're going to place a little bit of quartz slab going around the oak wood planks like this, kind of like a J shape and L shape. And then on the floor, skipping a row, we're going to place a row of quartz slab here, just to kind of make some steps, and it also just looks kind of cool like that. For the entrance of the build, I designed the entrance to be here, and I want it to be kind of like, I want it to be made mainly out of glass, And it doesn't necessarily need a door. You can just kind of like have some space, some empty space to enter the house. Who needs doors these days anyway? They're so old-fashioned. But if you do want to add a door, then obviously feel free to add one. So a little bit of glass in this area with maybe to keep it just a bit private, maybe like just leave a little bit of empty space just inside, or hide a door there. It's completely up to you. That's looking pretty good if I do say so myself. Okay. What are we going to be doing next? So, here's the deal. The only bit left is the roof, and the roof is a little bit weird. So, basically, one half of the roof is made out of using light grey concrete and quartz slabs, and the other half of the roof is made out of oak wood planks and quartz slabs. Let's do the left-hand half of the roof first. So we want to take the quartz part of the roof, so the left-hand side of the house is quartz, place a row of oak wood planks on top of the outline of quartz, like this. So you just want to place a row of oak wood planks on top of the quartz, like this. We need to turn this into a solid shape, so what we're going to do is we're just going to fill in the gaps to turn this into a solid shape on the outside, like this. And then we're going to add another row around it. So we're going to add another row of oak wood planks coming around this, like so. Just all the way around. And then we're going to add a row of oak wood planks on the left-hand side here. So we're going to add a row of oak wood planks on the left-hand side here. That's looking quite good if I do say so myself. So what we're now going to do is we're going to take the middle part of the roof where we have the very first oak wood plank that we placed, and we're going to place a row of light grey concrete kind of in front and around this part of the house. So we kind of just want to have a row of light grey concrete that kind of skirts around the outside of the house like this. You guys will be able to see what I'm talking about, and you want to make a shape like that, if you can see what I'm talking about. So from the outside, you'll have something which should look a little bit like that. And we are also going to add an additional row of light grey concrete on the right-hand side of the roof. And we're going to fill in any gaps that you might be able to see. We're going to fill these, actually we'll fill them in using light grey concrete. So we'll fill these bits in with light grey concrete, and we might as well make that a solid row so it's a bit cleaner at the top. So maybe just like just a solid row of light grey concrete like this. And I'm also going to just completely fill in the roof. So it's up to you whether you kind of want to have like a roof that's, whether you want to have like a transparent roof. And by that I mean like whether you want to have some like white stained glass pane, maybe, or rather block, because of course you can't use pane as roofs. Well, you can, but it will look weird. So it's kind of up to you whether you want to use glass blocks for all of the roof, or maybe even part of the roof. That's kind of up to you. I think that a nice little mix is kind of in order, so maybe we'll have this and we'll have like a solid shape for maybe the left hand side of the roof, and the right hand side of the roof I'm just going to make, you know what, I'll probably fill all of this side in with light grey, although you could very easily just fill in the entire roof just with glass. That always lets in loads of light, and with modern builds it doesn't look out of place. I'd do it on all builds if it didn't look weird, but it kind of does to do it to all builds. And plus, if you want to utilize the roof, you don't always want to have a load of glass up here, because I mean there's some stuff that you just can't place on glass, and it does make things a little bit weird. And of course, but then again, it is kind of cool as well, like you can see stuff through the glass, which isn't necessarily a bad thing, because it does let people know if they're inside the house, they look up, they now know that, you know, something's on the roof. It's kind of a cool little thing. So what we want to have so far should look like that. And as you can see, it's not looking too bad, but we are missing one important detail. So this is a little bit convoluted, but we want to grab our quartz slab here, and we want to place a row of quartz slabs starting from the divide between the dark grey concrete and the quartz block. We want to place a row of quartz slab that goes all the way around the edge of the top of the roof, like this. So it wants to go all the way around the edge of the top part of the roof, and it's actually going to stop on the equivalent point on the back of the house. So it will stop where we have that row of oak wood planks here. that we have on both the front and the back, and the sort of effect that we'll get is this. And as you can see, it's a really cool effect. It's a really simple house. It's a great looking house. Maybe even, it might be a little bit harder to make actually than some some modern houses, but hopefully you guys have enjoyed it. If you have, please do remember to hit that like button. I'd really appreciate that. I really would. Please click the little bell if you do subscribe to the channel. That would be very much appreciated. If you subscribe, you don't have to, but I'd appreciate it, and maybe you'll like some of my other stuff. If you want to let me know what you want to see in the future, please do leave a comment. And on top of all that, if you want to see some more stuff that's made by me, this is kind of like a bad corner of my world to show off, but you can kind of see in the background all sorts of different builds, then check out the card system in the description below for some of the things that you might be able to see around me that's caught your interest. But thank you so much for watching, guys. I've had a great time designing and making this video. Have a great day, and I'll see you guys in the next one.